Saga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present WAWR Radio Chats with ring announcer and commentator Joseph Heron.
Guys, of course I had to start the show, and I hope you guys like the new intro. Once again, for copyright reasons, I had to replace my traditional WAWR Radio Chats intro to Cheers. Yeah, I got a couple of copyright infringements, so had to change the intro. Hope you guys like it. Yeah, but guys, we're going to be here for a couple of hours. We're going to be discussing tonight, well, a lot of stuff. It's funny. Last night on Coach Gogi's show, right? He did his traditional big fight preview, and he did it for Tank versus Ryan. But it's funny. Coach is if he's not feeling something, you can't force him to do anything. He's he's an original, and he's not going to do anything that he doesn't want to do. And if he believes it's a colossal mismatch, well, then he's going to let you know it, and his heart's not going to be in it. So that was the case last night. I don't know if I share his sentiment. That's a rarity. And I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you guys about it and tell you why I feel this way. Once again, and if you look at last week's big preview with Joe Joyce and Zhilei Zhang, I let you guys know that, I thought it was high time for and perfect timing for an upset. And that it played out that way. Now, keep in mind, guys, here's a disclaimer. Coach Gogi, he hasn't been wrong on a big fight pick. You have to go all the way back to before this one. You have to go all the way back to Alacran Burchelt versus Oscar Valdez. That was a very long time ago. So he very seldom does he make the wrong selection in his big fight prediction. And he was wrong last week, but that never happens. I have a feeling he's wrong in his assessment once again, 2 weeks in a row. I can't believe what I'm saying. Not that I think Ryan's going to pull off the upset, but because of the athletic gifts, and maybe I'm wrong, but because of the athletic gifts of Ryan Garcia, that's going to pose a lot of problems for Tank Davis within the first half of the fight. Maybe I'm wrong. Guys, let me know what your opinion is. Click on the link if you'd like to chop it up with me. And I tell you what, man, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Then once again, Coach Gogi is Coach Gogi. Because of his knowledge of over 40 years in this business, right? That's why we call him the 5-decade fight trainer. He's been doing this in 5 different decades. So, guys, on tonight's edition of WAWR Radio Chats, we're going to discuss whether or not Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia will indeed play out to be the colossal mismatch in which not only Coach Gogi, but a lot of very wise, experienced boxing men believe it's going to be. Guys, we're also going to discuss the proposed by Eddie Hearn 4-man heavyweight tournament in the Middle East. And we're going to discuss the folly and what more than likely is going to happen, right? We're going to discuss all of that. We're also going to discuss the latest from the fat man, Dan Rafael, in which he reported my brother Vadim Kornilov, Dimitri Bivol's manager. Well, he's saying regarding potential fights with Arthur Beterbiev, Canelo Alvarez, and Callum Smith, Jaime Munguia, all that stuff. And we're going to, poke holes in everything that this, and once again, Vadim Kornilov, I love the guy. Met him a long time ago when I was covering Ruslan Provodnikov, well over 10 years ago. That's when I first met him. We became friends. And I'm going to talk about, this myth. And once again, I fell for it, guys. The myth regarding, the Russians are built differently. They look for legacy and they look for titles, and the money's going to come with it. No, it's bull. That's bull feces. They're just like any other prize fighter. As soon as they get a taste of real money, well, they start acting just like the American prize fighters that they're very quick to criticize. And we're seeing this now. And I'll talk all about it, guys. So, guys, if you're not doing anything, if you have your headphones, please click the link, chop it up with me, brother. Because, yeah, I think that Ryan versus Tank is worthy of this huge platform. And once again, that's another thing. A lot of scribes are talking about and criticizing the promotion of this event, right? Criticizing the promotion of it. Oh, I haven't seen very much promotion from a network perspective. Ryan's been doing a great job. Well, look, guys, once again, if you've ever been affiliated and been a part of Big Fight Week, wait to the grand arrival. Wait for tomorrow. Wait for tomorrow afternoon when you see the grand arrival at the MGM. Okay? Look how many mainstream media outlets. And once again, we've all covered fights, right? But it's different when it's a huge fight. That's what everyone, guys, said about Floyd Mayweather versus Miguel Cotto. And I can tell you firsthand that it blew up during fight week because of all the mainstream media outlets that were there getting footage, getting interviews. It was a rat race. Okay? So once again, just wait for tomorrow, guys. And you're going to see, I guarantee you, by Saturday night, you're either going to be sick to death of hearing about Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis, or you're going to be amped to the gills for this fight to finally happen. That's the way it always is, guys. So once again, just wait. And I want to give a shout out to my brother, G Funky Boxing. Thank you, man. I hope you enjoy the new intro. Yeah, it sucks, man. I really like the cheers for my WAWR Week Radio chats, right? But, excuse me. But I tell you what, if you have your headphones, man, plug it in. Well, you're probably watching the NBA right now as well, aren't you? Well, if that's the case, well, just maybe wait for halftime or something. Get your headphones on and plug in, brother. I'd also like to give my brother, Big Luke, a huge shout out. Yeah, man. You know what? Big Luke has been my brother and has been supporting the program back when we were on the antiquated Blog Talk Radio, just doing it from our phones way back yonder. Yeah, I was back on East Side Boxing. Thank you, brother, for always being my friend and on a personal level as well. It means a lot to me, brother, and I hope everything is going well with you and your significant other, your honey. I hope you guys are doing well, my friend. You mean a lot to me. I also want to give a big shout out to my brother, Larry Liston. He says, salute, Joseph. I don't think Tank versus Ryan is a mismatch. Neither do I. Ryan is underrated, has good speed. Well, better than good speed, actually. And is probably better than he's ever been. I would agree with that as well. But the hydration clause might affect the fight. I'm going to touch on that as well. Because once again, Coach Gogi said last night, he said, oh, the real reason why Ryan didn't want to take an interim fight in January, he had the opportunity. Reason why he didn't do that was because he didn't want to be exposed or risk losing before stepping in the ring with Tank. He just merely talked his way into this fight. Well, he might have done that, but no, I know firsthand the reason why he didn't take the interim fight, because they wanted to focus. And once again, he hired a nutritionist, hired a conditioning coach. The reason why is because he wanted to focus on losing the weight the right way. Now, once again, if you lose the weight correctly and not all at once, it's a gradual thing. You don't balloon it and gain it all back in an unhealthy manner. he's not only, from what I've been told, he's not only putting muscle on, he's also losing weight the right way. So we'll see. We'll see if that makes a difference. But that's the reason why he didn't take an interim fight. And in my opinion, I don't think the hydration clause is going to affect the fight. And once again, when are they going to take the second weigh-in? That's been a huge question. I'm about to write an article on this week. The weigh-in, the second weigh-in should be when he shows up to the event, shows up to the T-Mobile Arena the night of the fight. So once again, you're going to see Ryan Garcia there much earlier than Tank Davis. He's going to show up to the arena. He's going to have his second weigh-in, and then you're going to see him possibly leave or maybe just stay in a secluded room while rehydrating as well. Right? So there it is. Thank you for joining us, Larry. You're always very insightful. We really appreciate your input, man, always. He also says, yep, fantastic upset. I agree. Zhang showed brilliant defense and outboxed the slower Joe Joyce. I don't think Ismael Salas as a coach is a smart move. And he also came in light in terms of weight. Well, thank you for your insight, Larry, once again. And once again, brother, the reason why I had a feeling there was going to be an upset was, guys, there's a reason why Zhilei Zhang, and a lot of people point to Jerry Forrest. A lot of people point to him running out of gas against Filip Ergovich, right, last year. One, he was going through a lot of health problems in the Jerry Forrest fight. Like, I don't know how he was actually cleared to compete in the ring. That was damn near dangerous. He could have easily died that night, right? So, and so, guys, how's Filip Ergovich, how's his stock looking right now? Because he weathered the storm, and he won, and once again, as an arguably he lost, but once again, to the judges at ringside, they looked at that fight in terms of scoring the fight from an output. And once again, Zhilei Zhang, his output was depleted in the second half of the fight. He was still landing shots. He was still fighting very well, but he ran out of gas. And so, based upon those two performances, a lot of people unwisely thought, oh, Zhilei Zhang, he doesn't stand a chance. And you look at the odds going into that fight, it was like, honestly, whoever created those odds should be fired. Like, and once again, the way the odds move, it's completely dependent on the gamblers, the money that's being laid down. And obviously it widened as it got closer to the event because of all the money that was going against Zhilei Zhang and for Joe Joyce. But when you look at the initial odds, it was still very wide, still just absolutely ridiculous. And when you understand, there's a reason why no one wanted to fight Zhilei Zhang within the boxing community. Like, why would you fight that guy? Now, once again, I made this comparison last night. He reminds me a lot of the late, great, former WBO heavyweight champion, the sniper Corey Sanders from South Africa. That's a gentleman who, once again, wicked fast, left hand, sharp, short, compact left hand of Corey Sanders. There was nothing like it. There was nothing like it in heavyweight boxing at the time. And he became, because he wasn't a huge ticket seller, wasn't a huge ratings draw on TV. Yeah, no one wanted to fight him. Why would you want to fight that guy? He's a southpaw, and he could put you on your ass any time during a heavyweight scrap. So why would you want to fight that guy? And we see the same from Zhilei Zhang. Now, though, he's got the WBO interim title. And you're still seeing heavyweights talk about, well, this guy's not. And once again, you hear about the proposed, according to A. Scott, a proposed heavyweight four-man. That is all kinds of nonsense. And we'll talk all about that. Let me put up my backup, guys. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm running into some Chingao. I'm running into some connectivity issues. Let's see if we can nip that in the bud. I'm turning on my hotspot so we don't run into any more problems. But we're going to poke holes in all of that later on the program. Once again, thank you for joining us, Larry. You're always insightful, brother. And if you have your headphones on and if you're free to talk, put on your headphones. Join us, man. Click the link. I'm going to post a link once again, guys, in case you want to me. Once again, we're going to be here for a little while. And Issy says this. I want to welcome Issy Bivol. Thank you for always supporting the podcast, brother. Supporting the show. He says, Chief Funky, call me crazy, but I'm more excited for the Thompson boxing card on 4/21 than Tank Garcia. Maybe that's because I'll be ringside. Yes, if you're going to be ringside for any event, that trumps everything, brother. And let me tell you, man, the matchmakers there at Thompson, this Friday, they always put together very competitive fights. And if you have the opportunity to be ringside, don't just limit it to that, brother. Go to the weigh-in the day before. That in itself is a great event. And with Thompson cards, you've got the accessibility to meet the fighters, talk to the promoters, take pictures with the Thompson ring card girls. Man, that's a great event in itself. Go the day before. Find out where the weigh-in is. You won't regret it. I know, man. I've hosted so many of those events. The weigh-in, the press events, ring announcing or commentary during the actual fight, the event. Take in the entire experience, brother. Okay, you're a great fan. You'll be able to appreciate everything that Thompson Boxing has to offer. And they do such a tremendous job in putting forth a quality product, right? For everybody. And Larry says, well, watch the Christian Hammer Joyce fight. Yep. Hammer was landing that left hand at will. He got destroyed, but it set the blueprint on how to beat Joyce. A good southpaw with power and precision. Well, I will say this, though. Christian Hammer was targeting that chin. Now we know, well, the way to, well, stop Joe Joyce is not to continuously hammer that chin, but to target the nose and the eyes. Yep. But yes, now I think everyone knew going into that fight that he's not a hard target to hit, right? And G Funky says, yeah, I'm right there with you, brother. That's a great event. And brother, thank you so much once again for visiting and hanging with me live. And once again, if you guys have your headphones, please click on. Like to chop it up with you. I'm going to be here for a little while. And yeah, this is not a question. And you know what? Guys, once again, I'm going to say this again, guys. The real bosses of boxing determine what's a super fight. Not the belts, not the sanctioning organizations, not the promoters, not even the networks. The fans, the real bosses of boxing. You guys have the power to determine what's a super fight and what isn't. Okay, through ticket sales, through ratings, through social media likes and dislikes, through subscriptions, you guys move the needle. No one else. So if the fans rally behind an event and deem it a super fight, well then BOOHOO for the purists, the journalists, and the critics. Not a damn thing you can do about it. Now, you can apply for credentials, and that may make you feel important, but I'll tell you who's most important to these fighters and these promoters. The guys who are actually purchasing the tickets. The guys who are actually purchasing the pay-per-views. Those are the most important commodities, according to these promoters and fighters. Sure, you can write a cool article. You can do a great interview, giving these guys some ink, showing these guys some love. I tell you what, that means very little compared to the guys who are actually purchasing the tickets. And by the way, have you seen how much these tickets are going for? The sold out T-Mobile Arena. Have you seen how much the tickets are going for right now in third-party ticket outlets? Guys, for ringside, anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000. And there it is. And Peter, welcome to the show, sir. I want to welcome our brother Peter Von Arx to the show. He says, good evening, Joseph and chat. I have Tank. He has more experience, in my opinion. Tank by way of UD. That's interesting. I wonder why you didn't say Tank by way of knockout, like most are anticipating. Well, we'll see. If you have your headphones on, please click the link. I want to welcome also my brother to the chat. Thank you so much for supporting the show, sir. Always, my brother Antonio. And once again, thank you for your concerns and well wishes to my recent development of coming down once again with Bell's palsy. Boy, it's a big pain in the arse. But thank you, man, for your concern. It means a lot to me, Antonio. You're a very dear friend of mine, brother. Thank you. And he says, to the best boxing podcast in the world, saludos to you, my friend. You mean a lot to me, my brother. Guys, at this time, it's always a pleasure to chop it up. And in case you missed our podcast on the Boxing Source, James and I chopped it up and did a brief preview of Ryan versus Tank Davis on his channel. Go check it out. It's still up. But guys, at this time, I'd like to welcome my brother, James from the Boxing Source. How are you doing, my friend? Good evening.
Doing good there, Joseph. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. And once again, I hope you like my backdrop. I don't think you can see it, so I'm going to show everyone real quick. It says, right? And once again, this is going to stay up all week because, yeah, well, anyone who knows me and has heard my bragging, they understand why. Now, I'm going to show everyone this once again, right? Hold on. Let me pull this up so you guys. I'm here to bang everything. Oh, how sweet it is, brother. And once again, man, guys, if you are into betting, be responsible and don't do it while you're inebriated. Because I tell you what, I was hating life for a minute. I was regretting it. And I'm like, what have I done? But then it played out. And yeah, boy. So Zhilei Zhang actually turned me into a soothsayer minutes after I was really regretting what I had done. So guys, once again, be responsible. And once again, first and foremost, there's a saying in Vegas, if you sweat it, don't bet it. I.e., if you don't have money to burn, don't even think about betting customarily. But were you a bit surprised that he pulled off the upset?
Oh, yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was, looking ahead to Joe Joyce being able to, eventually stop Zhilei Zhang. But it just, looked like Zhang had the energy to, go up there and have a fast start. We had the faster hands, and it just looked like he had the more powerful hands. And for those listening live on the WAWR Radio Network here, the thing that I say about Joe Joyce is, yeah, he's like coming into the fight as like an immovable object, but the thing is, with his wins, he eventually wears down his opponents. He doesn't really have like a punch to really rock his opponents or knock them down straight up. It's just that he could get them good enough to stun them, but then eventually, throw combinations in order to wear his opponent down in order to force a stoppage. So
that's right. And upon the preview that we did for the heavyweight matchup, Joe Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang, we let you guys know that, look, he depends on it being a war of attrition and really leans on his superb conditioning. He's a superb athlete. And once again, his rugby background makes him a very tough guy. And he subscribes to that ideology of the steady drop fills the bucket. And up until this point, it really served him well. Unfortunately, boy, Zhilei Zhang, like I said, I likened him to the sniper, God rest his soul, Corey Sanders. And Vladimir Klitschko can tell you all about that guy, including, if memory serves me correctly, other than Lennox Lewis. Boy, he's the only guy to ever hurt Vitaly Klitschko in a prize fight, right?
Yeah.
Those two fights were amazing, right? Guys, at this time, I'd like to welcome my brother, very knowledgeable and virtuoso guitar player, happy to say, my brother, Peter Von Arx. Peter, how you doing tonight, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joseph. Doing very well tonight. Just wanted to cap in on the Zhang Joyce fight. I don't think anybody saw that one. Did you? I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody else saw it coming. And I was kind of counting on Joyce's activity, and I really wasn't counting on his chin. But he has pretty good activity. I mean, he works it over good. And I didn't think
he doesn't stop. He's relentless, isn't he?
Yeah. He can bring it on, and he's got a good gas tank, and that's where I thought he was going to catch Zhang. But the thing about Joe Joyce, I thought, well, what happened here? So I went back and looked at a couple of his fights, and Usyk beat him the same way Zhang beat him when they were in the World Boxing tournament.
Yep.
He just kept coming right straight down, and he was catching him with a right hook too. I know you noticed that. He hit him with a right hook and then comes straight down with a left right down the pipe.
Yeah.
And,
I will say this though, unlike last night's or this past Saturday's big heavyweight showdown, it was in the World Series of Boxing in which Usyk defeated him. That was what, a 5-round fight, 6-round fight? What are the rules there?
Yeah, I think it was.
Go ahead.
I think it was 6 rounds, but he was punching him in the face. He was messing his face up, and it was he was younger. He hasn't changed his style since then.
No. He loves to block shots with his face and never takes his head off the center line.
Yeah.
It's like against guys like Fury, against guys like Usyk, against guys like even Joshua, against guys like Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. I don't know how much success you're going to have against those guys. They're marksmen. And once again, if you're there to be hit, boy, they're going to exploit that. That's a very dubious strategy, in my opinion, brother. When you're looking at the elite level of the heavyweight division, right?
I think, in my opinion, and I think Hrgovic has actually improved since then. I think because he'll come right straight down the pipe too. Yeah, even though he's not a southpaw, he gets his feet in the right spot, and he was hitting him with combinations. I think Hrgovic beat him right now.
Well, look, I will say this, brother, and very good observation. Hrgovic, one of the reasons why you saw such a shaky performance, and I firmly believe this, and I criticize Coach Ronnie and his team off the air. Once again, I'm not going to do it on the air, like in front of him. I'm not going to do that. He's my brother, and I have the utmost respect for the 5-decade fight trainer, Ronnie Shields. In my opinion, he's one of the best in boxing, right? And he deserves to be in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. But I did say this off the air. Why on earth would you show up to Saudi Arabia the week of the fight? When your body you're going from Houston, Texas, all the way to Saudi Arabia, and you decide to show up on Tuesday of the week of the fight. And once again, he was regretting that, and he admitted that, and he said, yeah, that was a miscalculation. And brother, you saw the jet lag. And let me tell you, if you've never been a part of a camp, that jet lag will eat your ass to pieces. And that's not an exaggeration. When you're talking about that huge of a time difference, right?
Yep.
That is a huge miscalculation. So guys, trust me, and I've seen this, the Croatian sensation in the gym in Sugar Land, Texas. This guy is a monster. I can't wait to see him, anytime in the ring. This guy's a beast. He's got light heavyweight boxing skills, and he's got heavyweight power.
I said
this guy is a force. I'm sorry, as you were, Peter.
I was on your program, and Coach Ronnie was on there. I forgot that he was coaching him, And I said, hey, it looked like Hrgovic was about ready to tip over,
Oh, I remember that. He genuinely got pissed.
Yeah, well, he can, but that's what it looked like to me. He was wobbling around, and he turned in the opposite direction and walk, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah, dude, he was hurt several times in that fight. Yep. And if you didn't realize it, Zhili Zhang, he quickly reminded everyone, yeah, this guy is special. And he may not have the gas tank to dominate a fight for 12 rounds, but for 3 or 4 rounds, just like Corey, the Sniper Sanders, boy, he may be the most dangerous heavyweight in the world. James, now I'm going to ask you something, brother. What would you like to see next for Zhili Zhang? And do you think that Joe Joyce should go right into an immediate rematch? Because once again, he does have that rematch stipulation in the contract.
Yeah, he does have a rematch stipulation in the contract, but I am reluctant to have him have an immediate rematch against Zhili Zhang. The main reason being, in that particular fight, he just did not know what to do against the southpaw. It just looked like he was completely inexperienced going up against southpaw fighters. And that kind of like calls into question, how was he preparing for this particular fight against Zhili Zhang?
Oh boy. Look, and once again, that was one of the factors that led me to believe that there was going to be an upset. Because once again, you listen to all of the media, all of the questions. So like leading up to the fight, no one was asking about, hey, how do you plan to approach this Zhili Zhang fight? Everyone was asking about Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk. Do you have plans to fight those guys? No one was talking about the big Chinese puncher. And that was, in my opinion, the nail in the coffin. And coupled with several things, including, well, this guy's going to be 40 years old. He can't get a big fight to save his life. He really was fortunate to get this opportunity. And for all intents and purposes, this was his last chance saloon.
Yep.
And so that's what caused me to pull the trigger on, putting down some long green on Brother Zhang. Thank God I did. Woo-woo!
I think the only way Fury can save face now, since I don't know what he's doing with Usyk. I really don't care. He's acting like a doofus, if you ask me. But he could save face and fight Zhang. That'd be a big fight for him, since Zhang's got a little bit of China. He's got the entire country of China behind him, and the Eastern Bloc. That might help Fury out.
I think that would be amazing, actually. Now think about this: 5 a.m, and it's a version of the WBO heavyweight title. And once again, that's not diminishing his accomplishment. He is, for all intents and purposes, the interim heavyweight champ, the WBO, right? But with that said, a minor version of the title. And he garnered over 13 million pay-per-view purchasers in China at 5 a.m. Can you imagine
Yeah.
Tyson Fury? Can you imagine Tyson Fury in China with the Big Bang? Can you imagine that?
Downtown Beijing, egg rolls and wonton. Come on,
Oh
bring it.
my gosh. Can you imagine? Now, once again, Zhilei Zhang and his people, they're like, you know what? Don't be shocked. It would be a massive event for the country of China. Can you imagine 1 billion pay-per-view purchases?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, dude?
Crazy.
It'd be great. It'd be great. It'd save Fury from looking like a Mr. Gypsy tent maker, in Duck and Usyk.
Well, do you know that's another story. Do you honestly believe that he is ducking? Now, once again, guys, and you know me on this show, I cannot stand the ducking moniker.
I just said ducking, but I didn't.
If you are in the face 3 times of arguably the biggest puncher, one of the biggest punchers the heavyweight division has ever seen, and undoubtedly the biggest puncher in this version of the heavyweight division, do you honestly believe that he is purposely avoiding Alexander Usyk?
Well, that's not what I meant by ducking. I meant by, you're not giving me enough money because I'm a star.
That's it. And
that's what I was talking about.
That sentiment, and you're right on the money. That sentiment is rampant, and we're going to go into that. That's another segment that we're going to talk about. And once again, these Eastern European fighters had me snowed. Oh yes, we're more interested in legacy and what's best for the sport. The money will come. Bullshit. I'm going to say it right now, guys. Bullshit. Because as soon as they get a taste of those big purses, guess what? They're no better than any other American fighter. That's what they want. And you're seeing that right now with Dimitri Bivol. You saw that with Alexander Usyk. And that's why you're going to see both men without a fight. Mark my words, guys. Dimitri Bivol is going to talk his way and negotiate his way out of a Canelo fight, a Beterbiev fight, of a Jaime Munguia fight, or a fight with Callum Smith. So where do you go from there? Now think about this. He may have beaten Canelo, the man in terms of, the biggest attraction in boxing in North America. But what did you really win, brother? Are you a bigger ticket seller now than you were before that fight? Not really.
Nope.
So what did you win?
I think he is.
And can you once again negotiate that kind of massive purse? If you push too hard, Canelo's going to say, you know what? Screw you, brother. I don't need you. And then what's going to happen? What's it going to be left with?
Well, you can always go back to Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, once again, look at Alexander Usyk. Oh, belly, greedy belly. You know what? What are you left with now? Well, you've got a mandatory in Daniel Dubois, and in that matchup, you're not the A side there either. And you're talking about pennies compared to the purse that you would have made with Tyson Fury. And all of this nonsense. Now, once again, go to the 4-man proposed tournament from Eddie Hearn. Dude, he's so full of shit, his eyes are brown. Okay? So once again, you talk about that. What kind of nonsense is, each man has to make his own deal with the Saudis. That's not how you make a fight. That's how the entire Alexander Usyk Tyson Fury debacle, that's how that matchup fell apart. Because each man was responsible for their own deal. When have you ever seen a successful prize fight and agreement happen with that kind of mentality? You will never see. Now, once again, you've got several egos going into that equation. Each man believes they are the God's gift to heavyweight fighters, right? Each guy of that proposed 4-man heavyweight tournament, and they're responsible for making their own deal. Well, what happens? And once again, if Alexander Usyk strikes a deal for 60 million rock, well, how much do you think Anthony Joshua is going to think he deserves? Or Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury when they catch wind of that? Okay, now keep in mind, Alexander Usyk isn't a ticket seller anywhere. And if he's getting 60 million rock, how much do you think those guys who are much bigger ticket sellers, how much do you think they're going to think they deserve? Honestly believe that they deserve. That creates a huge, huge problem for this proposed heavyweight full man tournament. And I'm going to be resigning, who the hell does Eddie Hearn think he is? Thinking he's going to be the lead promoter on this thing. He currently only represents Anthony Joshua. Excuse me. He doesn't represent Alexander Usyk right now. Nor does he represent Deontay Wilder. And definitely not Tyson Fury. So who the hell does this guy think he is?
Hearn's just throwing stuff at the wall and see if it sticks. That's all he ever does.
Well, let me tell you, dude, Hearn, shut your mouth. You're a jackass. Okay? And anyone in the business, and once again, unless you're a fan that thinks the sun rises and sets in Eddie Hearn's ass, everyone in the business understands Eddie's a used car salesman. He's gonna talk out of both sides of his mouth. That's the way he is. He's going to say and do everything he can to help promote his brand of fighters and matchroom sport. That's it. It's poppycock, guys. And once again, you've got these guys who love to hate on Tyson Fury. Oh, yeah, see, that proves it. Tyson Fury doesn't want any of the smoke. Yeah, okay, he's only been in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko in Germany. He's only been in the ring with Deontay Wilder 3 times in America. Yeah, he's purposely avoiding Alexander Usyk or anyone else.
The money isn't there for him. The money isn't there for him. He's the A side. He's looking for the cash. I understand all of that. And he's getting a bad rap by a lot of people. Personally, I think he'd, step on Usyk. But that's just my, personal opinion. But right now, the best fight he's got is Zhang.
Oh, let me tell you. And that's not small consolation, is it?
The Chinese.
That is a massive global event.
You ain't a kidding.
That could crush any other proposed heavyweight fight at this time if put on properly. Now, once again, you already have Bob Arum at Top Rank, who has a history of working with the Chinese. Can you imagine?
Yeah, well, just if the city of Beijing tunes in, just if they sell it in the city of Beijing, there's like 1 billion people in Beijing.
That's what I'm saying, guys. This has the potential of being a complete monster. And once again, Tyson Fury, regardless of what you say, with his mouth, with his credentials, with his ability, his undefeated resume. But this guy, this has the potential of blowing up to make Tank versus Ryan look like, well, the co-main event at Thompson's card this Friday.
Yep, peanuts.
Right? So, guys, I'm going to step away real quick, but I want to get you guys started on we're going to go to the primary discussion, right? Our first chat of WAWR Radio Chats, our first topic. Now, once again, do you guys believe, we're going to start with my brother James, do you believe, a lot like Gogi, do you believe that Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia will indeed play out to resemble a colossal mismatch? James, I want your thoughts. I'm going to step away for a second. Guys, continue, please.
All right. In reference to this particular bout, I know that a number of people have kind of like said that Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia is a mismatch on paper. This is, even before, fans and whatever talked about the stipulations. Oh, Ryan Garcia has to weigh in at 136 pounds at on Friday. Well, Tank has to do the same thing. and he has to rehydrate, 10 pounds in the morning weigh-in, which Tank has to do the same thing. But from an ability standpoint, a lot of people feel like Tank Davis is one of the more talented fighters or more complete fighters out there. And they haven't really seen much from Ryan Garcia that says that, hey, he, really has much of a shot against Tank Davis. But like I mentioned on my podcast, and I've kind of, hinted at this with Joseph as well, is that, he talks about the betting odds, like for Joyce versus Zhang. Well, the betting odds for Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, are fairly closer than, some may expect. So I think that the odds makers have kind of given Ryan Garcia a little bit of a chance here in this fight against Tank Davis. But I think, from an ability standpoint, it's just going to be something where it's kind of like typical for Tank Davis to have a couple of rounds where he feels out his opponent and then he eventually breaks down his opponent and then stops his opponent. Like said that, if you look at the number of Tank Davis's fights, it's been a while since he's had an early knockout, within rounds 2 or 3. Everything has been around like round 6, 8, 11, something like that. So you're pretty much, I'm expecting the same thing here, having Tank Davis getting the win within around 7 or 8. But as far as like an overall mismatch is concerned, I don't know. It's more on Tank than anything else because, even with the abilities that he may have, he still has a tendency of getting hit a few times here and there. So it's pretty much on Tank for me.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to get Peter's his thoughts on this. And once again, I hope everyone can click the link and share your opinion regarding this very controversial topic. And once again, it really makes me laugh how some of these fans like to be revisionist historians once the fight is over. Oh, yeah, man. Joe Joyce, you're proud of that victory? Oh, man, that guy was slow as molasses, so easy to hit. Yeah, but you picked him to knock him out. You picked him to knock out Zhilei Zhang. You can't play revisionist historian, brother. You favored that guy to win. So once again, guys, there are no right or wrong answers until we see the fight play out this Saturday. And guys, I want to give a shout out to my brother Ponche Punchy. Sweet Amber salute. Hey, man, I'm feeling much better. So, hey, to the festivities tonight. Down the hatch, guys. God bless all of you.
He was looking at you.
Yep, here's mud in your eye, brother.
Yeah. He's looking up your old address.
Hadn't heard that one in quite some time, my friend. But Peter, your thoughts, brother. Do you think this is going to be like Coach Gogi, a colossal mismatch?
I think personally, Tank has had how many knockouts? Let's see, 26 fights, 26 knockouts.
No, 28. Yeah, it's 20 or 26 knockouts, 28 professional fights.
Yeah, the odds are against that right away from the start. Ryan Garcia, I don't think Ryan's tall. He's rangy. He's in shape, and I think he boxes better than Barrios. And I think what's going to happen is
hold on. Do you think he's a better technical fighter with a higher ring IQ than Barrios, or just blessed with far superior athletic skills or athletic gifts?
I think he's athletically better. Plus, he's a talented kid. He's been through the amateurs. He's had a lot of amateur experience. He's working with Joe Goosen. Goosen's no dummy. He knows what he's up against over there. So I think it's going to be unanimous because Tank has fought some great guys. I mean, Pedraza. He's been in with a lot of great fighters. Pitbull worked him over. If he can get out of that one, which he did, luckily enough, only with a broken hand, he's doing pretty good. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a unanimous decision for Tank Davis. I think this is Tank Davis's fight to win. I think Ryan Garcia is going to put up a hell of a fight. I think Garcia is going to put up a hell of a fight now, and I don't think he's not going to listen to his corner. Goose is going to be over there talking to him. So.
Yeah, well, Joe Goosen has been in his ear this entire camp, and it's been an extensive one. They've known about this fight since last year, right?
Yeah.
And this has been Joe Goosen's priority. That's why you saw Frank Sanchez, leave the 10 Goose gym and go back to Eder Reynoso, because all of his time has been devoted to the young Ryan Garcia, and for good reason.
Yeah,
and look, for good reason. That's the, if you're looking at purse and you're looking at legacy, you're looking at impact. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. You roll with the kid. And I feel bad for Frank Sanchez. He's a great fighter, a huge upside, one of the most skilled technicians in the heavyweight division. But when you look at what you hope to accomplish, yeah, you roll with the kid. I'm going to address this real quick, guys, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well. Bonche, he says, Joseph, what do you think of people who pirate pay-per-view fights? I hope you're not speaking relatively, but if you are, I can't blame you, okay? But I will say this. Don't even bother complaining about the price tag. Don't bother complaining about the undercard. Don't complain about how the fight plays out. You didn't pay for it anyway. Just, have fun with it. But I will say this, one thing I have noticed, and James, you could probably back me up on this. Mm-hmm. You can always tell who illegally streams a pay-per-view event because they're the first ones to throw daggers at how it played out. Because if you pay for an event, guys, you're going to want to like it. No one wants to pay good money and think they've been ripped off from an event or from a promoter, from a network. They want to like it, guys. So you can always tell who illegally streamed an event because they're the first ones to talk shit about it. Am I right about that, James?
Like, oh, this was bad. This was the worst. This is this. Like, come on. Like you said, I mean, they ain't paid for it. So why are they complaining? Like, come on. They went through the effort to not pay for it and then still want to complain about it. I mean, I could make a comparison, but I ain't gonna get on it.
No, come on. Hey, you opened up that. Come on, let's hear it, brother. Come on now.
I can't do it.
Come on, brother. Don't be shy.
Hey, that's like not paying for the, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, brother. Hold on. This is going back to the Joe Joyce dubious strategy of trying to block punches with your face. And I want to thank my brother Sly Tendencies for the big $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. And guys, if you noticed, since we were thankful to all of you guys for pushing us across that hump of 1,000 subscribers, now we get the super chat. So Sly says, anyone whose chin is their best defense won't last. Well, I will say this, especially not in the heavyweight division, but even in lower weight divisions, as we just saw with Alakram Burchelt, he is now, guys, a shot fighter. Now, it may pay dividends in the short term, but guys, you cannot keep, like in the immortal words of Eddie Futch, I'll say this. If you subscribe to that ideology, you're going to have a short but glorious career. And that's what I see for Joe Joyce, unfortunately. Like, how long has he been a pro only? Couple of years? I don't see him being a professional when he turns 40. I don't. because of that ideology. And once again, he is slower than molasses. And he never moves his head off the center line. And with all of his deep amateur background, even with Ismail Salas, you see him, Peter, adding that new wrinkle to his strategy.
Yeah, that poor guy.
Yeah, that's all you have to say. But Sly, thank you. And once again, this is going to be one for the annals of WAWR Week Radio. You are the very first to hit us and reward us with a super chat. So, guys, Sly Tendencies for Posterity is the very first super chat in the history of WAWR Week Radio. Thank you very much, my friend. God bless you, brother. Woo! Thank you, my friend. God bless you, brother. And thank you for being with us tonight. It really, really means a lot to us. And to double on that, right? Larry says this, having a granite chin isn't really a huge skill in the heavyweight division. If you can't leverage your shots, have poor timing and no defense walking into shots against heavyweights, you're basically food for the elite. Yep. And yes, that's it. And we all found out, excuse me, and poor Double J found out the hard way. Yeah, it's a very, very painful lesson to learn, right?
Zhang was just playing him at the end there. He was blocking his shots, and he was just waiting to crack him again. And I kind of felt bad for him because his eye was getting so swelled up. I thought, geez. Right in the first round, he got tagged with a left hand, and he did a little stank leg there. And I thought, oh boy.
Yeah. I tell you what, at that time, I was going, oh boy, do I feel like Nostradamus for making this wager. All of a sudden, round 3, round 4, round 5 crept up, and I'm like, oh no, Gogi was right. Look at his output compared to Joe Joyce's. Joe Joyce is coming on, and then all of a sudden, the wild card made his entrance in the big picture, and that's Mr. Howard Foster. Thank you, Mr. Howard Foster. Woo! And I know that sounds terrible, but guys, make no mistake about it. With any other referee in charge, and I know people are saying, oh no, any other athletic commission, any other referee would have done the same thing. No. How many fights have we seen? Like, look at Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Joe Joyce's eye didn't look any worse than Diego's.
Oh, sure didn't.
And did you ever hear Tony Weeks direct him to the ringside position?
Nope.
No. And that's it. It's Howard Foster, guys. He really came through and you know what? I wish I could say that I had him on speed dial and called him. No. That's Howard Foster, guys. I don't know if he just has a small bladder or something and always has to put an end to the fight prematurely, but that's what he does. That's what he does. Chingao. And I tell you what, Ponche has the beat.
I didn't see Joe Joyce arguing with him.
No. Well, I don't think, honestly, we're all credits due. He's a gentleman. Joe Joyce is a gentleman, and he's a real sport. And I couldn't imagine him arguing like Zab Judah to Jay Nady when he got knocked out by Kostya, grabbing him by the throat and demanding him turning on the clock again. Could you ever imagine Joe Joyce, anything like that coming from that guy?
Hold on. Who was the referee for the Corrales Castillo fight?
That was Tony Weeks.
Hey, are you talking about the same Tony Weeks that actually had the? Well, yeah, he doesn't have. Yeah, he doesn't stop fights. He doesn't.
No, dude. And unfortunately, well, to his dismay, and this is one of the reasons why I don't see him getting any major events, at least not in the near future, because he allowed the fight between Dave Morrell Jr. and your Basanala to go on way longer than it needed to. That was a one-sided ass whooping after round 5 or 6. And he let it go until, Yarbasanala. Yeah, he was ready for, to eventually get into a coma.
Yeah.
And so as a result, you're not going to see Tony Weeks get this assignment on Saturday. That's for sure. But I want to give a big shout out to my brother. Funkrites says, hey, chat, Joe in the panel. I do think Usyk is much more popular now than ever before. That's not saying anything at all, actually. But as you were, he says, fighters who win and get eyeballs get more fans. Not necessarily. Hold on, and I'll allow him to finish. And Usyk had a lot more fans now than ever before. Yes, he did. But once again, guys, and I've done PR work. I did PR work for several fighters, including several champions, for over a decade. Most promoters I've done PR work for, right? And this is a sad fact of entertainment. Keep in mind, once again, the fight game is run exactly like the music industry and unlike any other sports league, in which fighters gravitate. There is no rhyme or reason why some fighters gravitate toward, or some fans gravitate towards certain fighters and not others. Look at Canelo Alvarez. That guy's got the personality of a stick. And this is when he didn't know any English. And then he became the biggest box office draw in North America. How did that happen? Well, once again, there is no rhyme or reason why. He
had his own reality show.
Well, that is true, but that was before he was ever signed to Golden Boy Promotions, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He had a following before that, and then Golden Boy got a hold of him, and Oscar did a great job in the marketing, man.
He sure did. Not only marketing, but I will say this, Peter. I will say this. Golden Boy with Don Chargan, once again, he was a senior advisor. I was there every step of the way because I was working at the time for Don Warwick Chargan. And they don't, to this day, get enough credit, excuse me, for nurturing and cultivating his career in terms of matchmaking. Like they did the best job, I think, in the past 20 years of any prize fighter in cultivating and from a matchmaking perspective. And that was all the design of Don Chargan. He was the senior advisor, not only for Canelo, but for Golden Boy Promotions at the time. And guys, speaking of Northern California, my mentor's old stomping ground, God rest his soul, it's my pleasure to introduce at this time the always insightful G Funky Boxing. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Great stuff going on.
Brother, how was your excuse me. How are your Sacramento Kings doing in the playoffs, brother?
Well, we got game 1. But I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't watched a whole lot of games this year. Actually, in the past 2-3 seasons, but since I've been covering this crazy sport that we all love and talk about here on YouTube. But it's really a hard game to watch for me these days, man. It's too much crying, too much flopping. It's just not what I'm used to seeing. But I'm glad we got the win. We played tonight. Actually, the game just started right now, so I'll maybe watch a little bit of it tonight while I'm chilling, unwinding. But I wanted to come on here and jump on with you guys and talk a little boxing.
Thank you, brother. And before we actually move forward and ask you what you think of Tank versus Ryan, and will this be a colossal mismatch, let's say hello to our very dear friend, Pounds Boxeo. Thank you so much, brother. And he says, who'll be the ref for the fight this Saturday? Look, if I had to guess, right, just from these big events in Nevada, I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are, and I'd be willing to bet that the 3 judges at ringside are going to be Steve Weisfeld, Tim Cheatham, and Glenn Feldman. I'd be very surprised if those 3, all of them, aren't given this assignment because they have proven themselves to be the most consistent and the most competent. And as far as the referee in charge, don't be shocked if you get Big Jack Reese, all right, as the third man in the ring. He's a guy who will let you fight. And I know for a certain demographic of the boxing community, I know that they will say, oh, he's infamous for long counts. Brother, he is one of the most competent, straightforward, impartial referees that you're going to see. And once again, he is no Kenny Bayless.
That's true.
He will
Joe.
not let you actually tie. He will not let you excessively hold on the inside. And once again, he's very, very fair. And he's very consistent on both sides, right? Like if
Very
he
true,
lays the
Joe.
gavel down and warns someone for doing something on one side, he's going to go back and he's going to hold that other fighter to the same standard. Okay, Jack Reese is a very good guy and a very, very exceptional referee. Don't be shocked if that's who gets these assignments, and it's going to be announced on Wednesday, guys.
Yeah.
I hope that's true,
Now-
man, because my conversation that I had with Ray Corona on my channel, he informed us that Jack Reese is actually the main referee in California and trains all the referees on the
That's
protocols
right, and
and
that's
everything.
for a
So,
reason. And once again, it's not just the referees he trains. He trains the judges. And once again, in California, you have to be able to do both. Now, a lot of times when you go to cards in California, you'll see refs being a ringside judge. You have to be able to do both proficiently in California. And that's why the boxing community, especially in Nevada and California, Jack Reese has the utmost respect from everybody within those commissions. All right. So here it is, G Funky. Drum roll, please. I'm going to ask you this. Do you believe Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia will indeed play out to be a mismatch like Gogi believes?
I actually do. And it's for a little bit different reasons than Coach. And shout out to the coach, man. I always love listening to him on
Thank you,
Sunday
brother.
nights. He does not mince words, that's for sure. So
To say the
yeah,
least.
yeah. I just feel like for me personally, now some of you guys might disagree with my take, and that's fine. You know, it's that's sports talk, man. But I do feel like the catch weight and the rehydration clause is going to play a factor. And with that, I feel like the competitiveness of the fight is probably going to be gone around round 5. If Ryan does cut the weight in a correct way, in a healthy way, hopefully I'm wrong. And I do hope that I'm wrong. And I will be purchasing the fight, you know. But I just feel like it's going to do damage to Ryan. And I don't feel like after 5 rounds, he's going to be feeling that. And, you know, Tank, we seen Tank. He can box a little bit from the outside. I don't think he's the best outboxer. I think he's much better at mid-range. But we saw he can move a little bit against Isaac Cruz in their fight. So if he could move away from the action, force Ryan to come forward, use some energy, I have a feeling it's going to affect the legs around round 5 or so. But I hope that I'm wrong, man. I do. But I definitely favor Tank with
Well,
with
let
those
me
things.
ask you something. So, and once again, you said for different reasons than to coach. So, from a skill perspective, you don't see it being a mismatch that way.
No, I don't. I feel like there are both of these guys. I feel like are have some flaws, you know, especially defensively. I think both guys are very hittable.
Yeah.
Tank has shown, you know, a good chin thus far. You know, he's never been down. I do feel like Isaac Cruz buzzed him a couple times, but nothing serious. Leo swole him up pretty good in 6 rounds. He was landing some good leather on Tank. But again, Leo, you know, is a much smaller guy. Ryan, of course, we've seen, he definitely doesn't tuck his chin the way that we would like to see him. Now, I know he's talked about that at the open workout that they had, and he's like, well, if you think my chin is in the air and it's a bad thing, then come try to touch it, he relies on his reflexes, like he almost, I don't want to make the comparison to Roy Jones. Like, they don't fight anything at all. The only thing that I think is comparable is that they use their reflexes a lot,
Yes, indeed. Yep.
and
Speed and
Ryan,
reflexes is their bread and butter. Yep.
Yeah, and he doesn't really, Ryan's footwork is, I wouldn't call it bad, but I just feel like he's kind of just in and out, straight in and out when he's coming in and out of range. Doesn't really pivot well to the outside.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like both guys do have some flaws, but I would favor Tank as far as more overall things that he could do in the ring. But Ryan's ability to, again, have those good reflexes and that quick left hook that he has, he's got a shot, man. As long as he's got something in the gas tank, he's got a shot to catch Tank with something. So I think it's gonna be interesting, man, the first half of the fight.
You know what,
we'll
brother?
see,
I would agree with everything that you just stated. And guys, make no mistake about this. That is the primary reason why everyone is amped to the gills for this fight. Say what you want about Ryan Garcia. Guys, Tank, as an amateur or professional, has seldom seen speed and power coupled together like this ever. Like, this is going to give him a lot of problems in the first half of the fight. Now, keep in mind, Ryan's footwork is atrocious. Now, G-Funky didn't say that, but I'm giving that a bridged version of it. He's being nice. Ryan Garcia's footwork is dog shit, guys. And once again, his chin, like when he lunges in at times, I'm like, holy cow. There's a reason why Luke Campbell. Now, keep in mind, guys, this wasn't later on in the fight. Luke Campbell made Ryan Garcia pay midway through the second round. His footwork is atrocious. So Joe Goosen, boy, I hope you corrected that, because if not, he may be in trouble as early as the second or third round. Keep in mind, Tank Davis, a very deliberate fighter, very intelligent fighter. He's one that, a lot like Terrence Crawford, is a very slow starter. And I hate this term, but I'm going to use it. He downloads all the data before starting to maneuver his way into punching range. And against Ryan Garcia, with that speed and power, it's going to take him a bit longer, right? In my opinion, guys, and I meant what I said several weeks ago. I meant what I said on James's show on Saturday night. And Peter, I want to get your thoughts on this. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, right? And once again, there are no right or wrong answers until we see how the fight plays out. But in my opinion, this fight is going to end in an anticlimactic, inconsequential split draw.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because Ryan Garcia, because of his activity, his aggression, is going to pick up, and Tank Davis's lack of activity, he is going to rack up a lot of the rounds, according to the judges at ringside, in the first half of the fight. Tank Davis is going to start maneuvering his way into punching range. And once again, Ryan Garcia is not going to be reckless against a guy with the reputation and punching power, as well as ring IQ, as Tank Davis. He's not going to go for broke like he does in most of his fights against overmatched opponents. You're going to see this fight end in a very inconsequential split draw with a lot of very slow, unentertaining moments, in the opinion of the casual and mainstream fans who are really looking forward to this being a barn burner.
I was just gonna say that.
That's my
they're gonna love it
opinion,
anyway.
guys. That's my opinion. And once again, who do I blame for that? I blame damn Oscar De La Hoya. Shut your mouth. Look, every time he opens his stupid yap, fishnets, always, hey, this is the fight that's going to save boxing. Dude, anytime he deems a fight that's going to save boxing, it always flounders. Now, once again, history will tell you, go back and look at his fight against Floyd Mayweather. Oh, this is the fight that's going to save boxing. What happened? Wasn't the most scintillating of affairs. And then you go, oh, this is the fight that's going to save boxing, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Dude, it left such a terrible taste in the mouth of casual mainstream fans. They actually were suing to get a refund. Now he does it again for this. Now he does it again for this fight. Guess what? He just cursed it. Mark my words, guys. It's going to result in an inconsequential, anticlimactic split draw in which one judge deems it in favor of Tank, another judge deems it in favor of Ryan Garcia, and Tim Cheatham calls it a draw down the middle. Guess what? That's what you're going to get. Peter, your thoughts on my theory, brother?
It might as well be Dewey, Cheatham, and Hall then, you know?
In the minds of the casual mainstream fans, yes, it will be Dewey, Cheatham, and Hal.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
How about this for a twofer on Caesar Sportsbook? You got a plus 280 for the fight going the distance and a plus 1200 for the fight being a draw.
Dude, if it's only a plus 1200, like most fights of this nature in which you get two knockout artists, most of the time it's hovering around the plus 2,500 or plus 3,000 mark, right? Plus 1,200, ouch. I'm not the only one who has this prediction, right?
Maybe I should call my bookie right now.
That's not good, guys. That's not good. So I want to give a big shout out to my brother, SSP Diving. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, he learned of this channel on my inebriated rants on my brother Ryan Boxing Gems channel. Thank you for migrating over here as well, brother. He said, what's up, fellas? Joseph, I hope you didn't cash out on that Zhang bet. No, I didn't, brother. In fact, I'm still reaping the benefits of it. Thank you very much.
Well, Chinese, you know what? If you got that premonition,
brother,
man,
Zhilei Zhang for president. Zhilei Zhang for president 2024. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
every Chinaman in Beijing bet on Zhang. You can bet on that. They're all out buying gold today, you know.
Joe, you're playing with house money, man.
Well, I will say this: if they were allowed to, now there's a big question, a serious question. I'm going to ask you, James, and G Funky, and Peter. Would you rather be an adult male in communist China, or would you rather be a married man in America? Now, keep in mind, the married man in America can leave the country, but he really can't leave his house most of the time. But a communist, an adult male in communist China, well, he can leave his house anytime he wants. He just can't leave the country. So which one would you rather be? Because we're all adult males. Which one would you rather be? G Funky, you first, brother. You're married.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. I'm married, and I'd like to stay married. So that's my answer.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So he's pleading the fifth.
I love you, honey, if you're listening.
Woo! He's pleading the fifth. Peter, your thoughts, my friend?
Oh, I'm staying in America, bro. I don't even speak the language, you know, and I'm not married though, you know.
James, you're single, brother. So at least from what I know of you, I think you are. So who would you rather be?
Ooh. Looking at these numbers, man, I'm like, being a married man in America in comparison to ooh.
Yeah, well, come on, brother. Let's get it. Come on.
You know what? I'm sorry. This is almost like what G Funky said, but I'm liking it a push because it looks like
So James, just like G Funky, is question push. I will say this, brother. I am just been recently in a relationship, and I'm now out of a relationship, and I can tell you with great certainty, I would much rather be the adult male in communist China. Thank you very much. Yes.
You can't leave the country.
Brother. No, well, it doesn't matter. I can leave my house, and I don't get the third degree. Oh, wait a minute. You weren't answering your phone at this time. Hey, you didn't respond at this time. Hey, what were you doing out? I don't like you hanging out with that guy. He drinks too much. Oh, you know what? I'm tired of that. I like being my own man. And trust me, traveling at this time is overrated. So yes,
bro, the beaches in Thailand,
at this
the women
time,
in Pattaya, the money, the dollar goes a long ways there.
Brother, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Oh man!
At this time, I would much rather be the adult male in communist China. Thank you very much. Yes.
It's like something that I posted a while ago. When it comes to marriage, in marriage, the man loses his bachelor's degree, and the woman gets her master's degree.
Yeah, that's about it too.
Okay, hold on. Look. And once again, welcome, Joey Chaz, the eternal optimist. He says, in China, it's allowed to have a mistress. Well, look. James with the concubine. No. Look. I don't roll that way. I've always believed in monogamy. That's probably why I'm leaning towards adult male in communist China. Thank you very much. Now, once again, welcome our brother Low Clarity to the show. He says, is this some kind of insane Peter Griffin would you rather? Maybe, or it's a segue to our next topic. Are you ready, guys?
Yep.
Now, let's discuss Eddie Hearn's proposed 4-man heavyweight tournament in Saudi Arabia, in which Anthony Joshua would face Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury would face Alexander Usyk. Now, once again, if you're in a tournament type situation, when does the number 1 and 2 seed fight in the first bracket to face the number 3 and 4 seed? To whose logic does that make sense?
It never does.
No, he's an idiot. And once again, he's thinking of his prize fighter, the lone prize fighter that he's representing in this 4-man equation, right? So if this were really a 4-man heavyweight tournament, if this was really serious, so who would be number 4 in this situation? It would be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder versus Alexander Usyk. Now, I'm going to ask you, if this does come to fruition, which is a huge if, the size of the Empire State Building at this time. So who would you favor? We're going to start with James and go clockwise, right? James, who do you like in the first seed if this is truly run like a tournament? Once again, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
Ooh. If it was like this right now, I would favor Tyson Fury.
And now the second bracket, right, which is Alexander Usyk, the number 1 seed according to the ring rankings, versus Deontay Wilder.
At this rate, I would favor Alexander Usyk.
Really?
Yes.
Because once again, Anthony Joshua, his biggest dilemma when facing Deontay Wilder, and once again, there are no right or wrong answers, guys. This is all hypothetical. But I will say this. His biggest dilemma is he's a pocket counterpuncher. He's not assertive, and he doesn't like to get off first. As we just saw in his, abysmal showing against Jermaine Franklin. Okay? Deontay Wilder doesn't have that problem. You still like Alexander Usyk?
Yes.
Very good. Peter Von Arx. Who do you like in the first bracket? Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
I'm going with Fury on that one. And the second one, Wilder against Usyk. I gotta say, I think Deontay Wilder knocks him out.
I do as well, brother. And once again, you've got that. Now, keep in mind, Alexander Usyk, a great fighter. He's an all-time great, right? He's an all-time great.
He's excellent.
But, he can be hit. For someone who's assertive, look how much Tony Bellew touched him up as a cruiserweight. Now, I'm sorry, you get touched that much with someone who has no problem getting off first, and then you couple that with the Bronze Bomber, you're looking to get your ass whooped.
Joshua
touched my sentiment.
Joshua touched him on second fight.
Yeah. Well,
Did the
that's
first
my
fight
sentiment.
too?
Yeah. Well, G Funky, your thoughts on this very hypothetical four-man tourney if it's conducted exactly the way a tourney's supposed to? Once again, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua in the first bracket.
I'm rolling with Fury. I think Joshua, as far as competing for belts or competing against anyone that's at the top of that heavyweight division, he's losing at this point. That's what I think. But I mean, he could still get some work done with some guys at the back half of the top 10. But as far as competing with the guys at the top, I don't think so, man. I think he's done. So
now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Oh, I love Goodfellas, brother. You can't have enough Goodfellas sound bites. That's amazing. That's wonderful. Now, in the number 1 and 4 bracket, right? 1 versus 4, Alexander Usyk, the lineal champ, against Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber.
I would say this, man. I'm going to favor Usyk to win that fight. Although Wilder is very dangerous because he does have power in that right hand, and that's a primary weapon against a southpaw. However, I do feel like what we've seen from Wilder in his fights with Fury, especially the first fight, footwork is a problem for him. He was able to move around and keep him constantly resetting, because we all know power punchers need to have those feet planted in order to generate the kind of power that they need. So indeed. Is he dangerous in the fight? Absolutely. I just think he'll have issues with the footwork and the angles of Usyk. So I would pick Usyk to win that fight. Plus, I just don't know where Wilder is mentally or physically. I mean, he took 2 beatings and a knockout from Fury, and then he comes back and gets a half a round in against Helenius. So not a lot of work being done by him in the ring recently. So I question a lot of things about him as well. So I would favor Usyk.
You know what, brother? Once again, there are no right or wrong answers until we see either matchup play out, if it indeed does. But I tell you what, going back to what I initially stated, right? This is going to be very difficult to put together, right? Once again, you're Eddie Hearn, according in his logic, you have 4 separate fighters making their own deals to make this happen, right? Yeah, how is that possible? Have we ever seen anything like that?
It isn't.
You can have all. Look, Eddie, you can have all the conversations that you want. Now I'm going to quote him. for AJ, his big fight will be in the Middle East, and it'll come in December. And that'll be Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. That's what we're planning. I'll be going out next week to meet people to discuss AJ's fight in December. There has definitely been conversations that have taken place where people would like to host Fury against Usyk and AJ against Wilder on the same night. It'll cost a lot of money, but it would be our pick, and we will have those conversations. Our focus is to give that big mega fight in December over the line. End quote. Once again, you want the number 1 and 2 seed to cancel one of them out, and then you want to be able to take on the very flawed but hard-punching Deontay Wilder in the 3 and 4 seed. In what universe does that tournament make sense?
What are they putting in his teeth?
in boxing, I mean, I kind of see like how it, like in many aspects it doesn't make sense, but in boxing nothing really makes sense. And when it comes to like these matchups here, I know that it's ranked number 1 and number 2 and 3 and 4, but business pretty much like trumps all of that. And the thing about it is, from a fan's perspective, or how a lot of people within boxing view it, more people would be interested in Joshua versus Wilder than Fury versus Usyk.
Okay, so what you're saying is, James, is that Eddie Hearn thinking selfishly with his man Anthony Joshua, we want Alexander Usyk eliminated by the most skilled heavyweight on the planet, which is Alexander Usyk. He's got the size, he's got the chameleon-like dexterity and skill set, where most people favor Tyson Fury in a head-to-head matchup with Alexander Usyk. In my opinion, he doesn't ever want to see Alexander Usyk again with his man Anthony Joshua. That's the reason why he proposed that kind of bracket. That's the reason. He's thinking selfishly. He's like, hell no, I'd rather take my chances against Deontay Wilder rather than Alexander Usyk a third time. And that's it. That's where he's coming from, brother.
Of course. But it's also twofold, because he knows that the demand for Joshua against Wilder and Fury is still there. So if he has like any type of situation where Usyk is out of the picture, like you mentioned, of course he's all for it. He is all for it. And that's why it's like they want to push to have Fury and Usyk for undisputed, and then have the thing for Joshua versus Wilder to happen in December. It shouldn't be in the same card. Like, what type of
No. They're talking about it being the co-main in the main event sometime in December.
I'm like, they might as well just have like a one-off fights, just have, like they have, Joshua versus Wilder the first weekend of December, and have Fury versus Usyk the third weekend of December. You know what I'm saying?
Look, if they're talking about that much money, and he's talking about $400 million in your wet dream, brother. If they're talking about that kind of money,
you're going to have to sell every camel they own.
Yeah, they better pray that the price of the barrel stays as high as it is. Now, once again, if he's talking about that kind of money, then for all intents and purposes, the only way that makes sense for the Saudis is if it's a round robin, like the Super Six several years ago, and they all retire after this happens. That's the only way this makes sense from a monetary position.
Yeah,
that's the only way it makes sense.
Money. Yeah, especially if they're offering that much money, because
that's what I'm saying.
Listen, it wouldn't matter who the winner is. It wouldn't matter who the loser is in the final. Imagine how much money either one of those fighters would want in their next fight.
That's what I'm saying. They might as well retire because they're not getting it anywhere else. And
Fury
dude,
says it's all BS.
now let me ask you this now. We're going to go counterclockwise now. G Funky, who do you favor in a round robin tournament in which each guy has to fight each guy?
Fury. I have to go with Fury. He's got the size. He's got the reach on everyone. He's already beat one guy, arguably 3 times. Yeah, I would have to favor Fury, no doubt about it. But I would rather much see you, like you said, the round robin than like a bracket kind of tournament. And yeah, you're definitely right about Eddie Hearn. You know, he's trying to get Usyk out of there to
He's like, Fury, take care of our light work. That's what he's doing.
Right.
That's exactly what he's doing, dude.
Yep.
And if you guys can't see through this shit, well, then shame on you, because that's exactly what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry,
And
as you were, brother.
And if I'm Fury, I'm telling him this.
I said, all right, I'll tell you something. Go fuck your mother.
So fascist.
Bing, bang, ping. Oh, I love it, man. Wait a minute. Funny how? Wait a minute. You said it. How am I funny? How the F am I funny?
You might fold under questioning, Henry.
Woo! I'll tell you what, that movie. Now, once again, I'm going to bring movies back after this, guys, because we're pretty much coming to the close of the program. But Peter, who do you favor to win the round robin tournament of those 4 behemoths minus Alexander Usyk?
Fury.
Yeah, I would. I don't think, like, if you questioned 100 fight fans with that same inquiry, I think 90 times out of 100 you're going to get Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah.
So, James, what say you, brother? Don't tell me you're picking the Bronze Bomber to be the wild card here, brother.
No.
That's Matthew, isn't it? That's Matthew, isn't it?
Yes, that's Matthew.
That's brother Matthew. If you're familiar with the Boxing Source and his shows.
Yeah. I'm making it unanimous here on this panel. Tyson Fury.
Yep, guys. Honestly, Tyson Fury. Like him or not, with his mouth, with his prima donna mentality, with his inflated purse history, like him or not, he seems to be a behemoth and a Goliath among heavyweights. He's got the skill. He's got the footwork. Like, it seems to be, it seems to defy all logic and physics. How does a guy like that move as well as he does? And once again, under the tutelage of the great Sugar Hill Stewart, my brother, he can punch. He can actually punch.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart. And once again, if you try to fight him on the inside, well, he's gonna have his way with you on the inside. There are, like, this guy has very few chinks in the armor. And even against, if you crack him good, like Deontay Wilder, he's got the heart and the mental fortitude to get up and commence to whooping your ass. Yeah, honestly, I don't see anyone beating Tyson Fury as long as he takes all 4 opponents or all 3 opponents seriously. And that's a big if, guys, is once again, what's going to motivate this guy? Well, I'd say 100 million would. And that's enough. So there it is, guys. We're all unanimous. We all believe Tyson Fury is the class of this version of the heavyweight division. But that's it. Now, going back to movies, I'm going to ask you, G-Funky, what is your favorite, as if we didn't know, but I'll leave it up to the element of surprise. What is your favorite Martin Scorsese film ever?
Oh, That's a tough one, man. I
That
mean,
is
he's
a
got
tough
so
one,
many.
brother.
He's got so many good flicks, man. Man,
Yep.
it's really hard to.
Great movies. Great
Yeah,
movies.
really hard to pick just one. But I gotta say, recently I've been watching. Well, I shouldn't say been watching, but I watched it again recently. The Wolf of Wall Street, which is
Oh
a
boy.
really really good flick. But I think I'll probably have to go with Goodfellas. But yeah, tough decision there, man.
Well, I tell you what, my least favorite is The Last Temptation of Christ, in which what's his name? The guy with the ugly face plays Jesus Christ. Come on now. He was reaching there. But guys, let me just go back. Let me just show you. Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, The Irishman, The Wolf of Wall Street, Shutter Island, The Departed, Raging Bull,
Come on.
Casino, Gangs of New York, okay? The Aviator, Mean Streets, Cape Fear, right?
Casino? Yeah.
The Color of Money. Like, damn.
Great flicks.
Those are all great movies. Like, he
I
could have
thought
made
The
just
Aviator
one.
was great.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. And didn't you just love Kate Blanchett in that movie?
Oh man, I had the heart for her.
Well, who didn't? Who didn't? Like, her skin is porcelain, especially in that movie. And once again, my most underrated, I'll give you for my favorite underrated movie of Martin Scorsese. And that's with Nicolas Cage, Bringing Out the Dead.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, and no one talks about it. Once again, and the king of comedy. Like once again, he could have made just one of these and retired a legend. But look at all those. In my opinion, though, if I had to give my absolute favorite, it would be Casino. I love Casino, guys. I love Casino. And even I even love what's his name? Mr. Warmth in it. He is so good. Like, everyone is so good. Sharon Stone. She's amazing in that movie.
It's a very accurate movie too. Like, even more than Goodfellas. As far as like the
historically,
the Chicago outfit, and their involvement in the casinos there in Vegas. They even got the guy who represented Spolatra, the lawyer. He was in the movie, playing Nicky Santoro's lawyer, who was playing Spolatra.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty accurate movie,
Great, just amazing, absolutely incredible. But I will say this, and thank you for hanging on and just sticking with us, my friend. He said, Low Clarity says, I like the Gangs of New York. Ear cutoffs, despite the historical inaccuracies. But I will say this, Daniel Day-Lewis, what a monster that guy is. What a beast. Can you think of a better actor of the modern era in Hollywood than Daniel Day-Lewis? Anybody?
That's a tough one. Again,
that guy's a beast.
Yeah, too many choices. That's
Bill the Butcher.
That's the problem with these these movies and actors.
Yeah, but look, Daniel Day-Lewis, that guy's a chameleon. Like, very few actors, right? When you start watching the movie, you're like, yeah, that's Daniel Day-Lewis. And midway through it, he's gone. You don't think of it as Daniel Day-Lewis any longer. You think of it as that character. How many actors actually are that way in their movies over the last 40 years? Like, he vanishes.
What's that guy's name? Edward Norton. You ever watch
Edward Norton? He's
that
an
guy,
excellent actor. Yep.
He's a hell of an actor. He gets you,
Yeah, no, he's excellent, man. Very astute, and I love his versatility. But damn, dude, Daniel Day-Lewis, like, he'll look different. Like Let There Be Blood. I will drink your milkshake. Yeah, he's that good, man. Like Daniel Day-Lewis is a freak actor. And once again, dare I say, clinically insane.
Probably.
Like, think about this, guys. He retired as an actor from Hollywood. He'll never make another movie again. And he retired to become a cobbler. He makes shoes now. That guy's nuts.
Wow.
And you can see it. You can see it on the screen. He's insane.
He's doing what he likes.
He's now a shoemaker.
Oh, man, that's funny. Hey, Joe, man, I'm gonna roll out, man. It's almost time for me to put the little ones to bed.
We're getting ready to roll out, brother. So let me just go ahead and make our formal exit in tonight's show, guys. And once again, we want to thank everyone for hanging with us in the chat. Want to thank and once again James. Tell us where to find you, sir. And once again, thank you for your insight in tonight's show, sir.
Just follow the Boxing Source on YouTube, social media platforms. Should, like I said, have coverage of Tank versus Ryan later this week. So be on the lookout for that.
Yep, we'll definitely be glued to the Boxing Source, guys. Once again, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to JR at the Boxing Source. Thank you very much, brother, for all of your insight tonight. Peter Von Arx, where can we find you, brother?
At home. drinking beer and playing guitar.
All
right on, brother.
What a life,
tell you
man.
what,
Beautiful.
that is the life, my friend. That is the life. Those are two of my favorite things to do ever.
Definitely.
Thank you, Peter, for all of your involvement in this show, and thank you for your insight. And brother, don't be a stranger on future episodes, my friend.
Okay,
and,
thanks.
Last but definitely not least, G Funky, where can we find you, brother?
Yeah, you can just find me here on YouTube, G Funky Boxing. If you have a Twitter account, Twitter is awful, one of the most awful places to speak boxing. But if you want to follow me there at GFunky84, I rarely do anything these days on there, but share when I'm live and stuff like that. Instagram, I'm at GFunky_boxing. And that's it, man. Thank you for having me, Joe. You know, I'm an old man and I got these kids that wearing me down. I'm tired. I'm gonna need to have another cup of coffee before the night's over.
Come on, make that coffee to go. Let's go.
So yeah.
You know what, brother? I'm right there with you. That's why I would prefer to be an adult male in communist China. That's it. And guys, and that's gonna just about do it. If you missed any part of the show, it's available on demand. And also, you can check out James Gogie's Tank versus Ryan preview. It's available on demand as well. It took place last night. But guys, on behalf of James, Peter, and the incomparable G Funky, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to WAWR Week Radio. Have a great evening, everybody.
FightSaga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present WAWR Week Radio Chats with ring announcer and commentator Joseph Heron.